I never imagined how much strength a tiny heartbeat could demand from me. When we picture pregnancy, we usually think of glowing smiles, cravings at midnight, and tiny socks waiting to be worn. I thought the same. I dreamed of decorating a nursery, picking names, and feeling magical the moment I saw those two pink lines. My name is Emily, and when I found out I was pregnant, I felt shock, joy, and fear all at once. It happened faster than we planned, but still, it felt like a blessing drifting into my life. I remember holding that pregnancy test in my shaking hands, whispering to myself, "This is real. I'm going to be a mom, but life has its own plans." And sometimes those plans feel like a storm that arrives before you even learn how to hold an umbrella. A few weeks after finding out, instead of planning cute baby outfits, I found myself staring at the bathroom floor tiles, terrified. Because I was bleeding. It wasn't a lot at first, but enough to make my heart drop. Every fear I never knew I had suddenly rushed into my mind. I didn't know what was normal anymore. Pregnancy suddenly didn't feel magical. It felt delicate, fragile, like a dream I was scared to lose. This is my story. Not the perfect one I imagined, but the real one that taught me what courage truly means. The morning I first saw the bleeding, the sun was rising outside my bedroom window. Thin lines of light slipped through the blinds, but I didn't feel any warmth. My husband Jake was still asleep. I didn't want to wake him because I kept telling myself maybe it was nothing. Maybe everything was still okay, but deep down, I was already scared. Early pregnancy can be confusing. You're constantly watching your body, trying to understand every new sensation. My doctor had mentioned that light spotting could happen in the first trimester, but I didn't know how to measure light. Was this too much? Too red, too scary? The fear inside me grew louder with every minute I waited. Finally, I woke Jake, my voice trembling. "Something is wrong." Within an hour, we were at the hospital. The waiting room smelled like antiseptic and old magazines. Other patients looked calm. I tried to be like them, but my heart was racing so fast I could barely breathe. They called my name, and a nurse led us to a room where I sat on a bed that crinkled loudly beneath me. The doctor arrived, calm and gentle. She asked questions, checked my vitals, reassured me that spotting could be normal, especially in early weeks. She scheduled an ultrasound. As I lay there, cold gel on my stomach, I held Jake's hand so tightly that his fingers turned pale. The ultrasound screen looked like a night sky full of scattered stars. I searched for something, anything recognizable. Then I saw it, a tiny flicker, like a spark trying its best to glow. The doctor pointed to it, smiling softly. "That's the heartbeat." For a moment, everything inside me melted into relief. Tears filled my eyes, and I laughed and sobbed at the same time. My baby was there, alive, fighting. The doctor told me to rest more, avoid lifting heavy things, and listen to my body. She explained that bleeding can happen for many reasons: implantation, sensitive cervix, even stress. Sometimes there's no clear answer. Pregnancy is unpredictable. I thought that was the turning point. I thought fear would step back and joy would return, but the bleeding didn't stop. Days turned into weeks filled with uncertainty. Every time I visited the restroom, I prayed. Every small cramp made me hold my breath. Instead of celebrating pregnancy, I monitored it like a fragile secret. My emotions were all over the place. Pregnancy hormones can do that, the doctor said. Anxiety rises easily when your body is changing so fast. I tried breathing exercises, journaling my feelings, even soft music at night. Some days the fear felt smaller. Other days it swallowed me whole. One afternoon, sitting on the edge of my bed, I finally broke down. "Why can't I enjoy this?" I whispered. I felt guilty for being scared instead of happy. Guilty that my body wasn't doing what I thought it should. Then Jake sat beside me, wrapped his arms around me, and said, "You're already protecting our baby. That's love. Even fear is love sometimes." Those words wrapped around my heart like a warm blanket. I realized pregnancy wasn't just about the sweet parts. It was about strength, patience, trust. I wasn't failing. I was learning a new kind of courage. That day, I decided something. Even if my journey didn't look perfect, I would keep going. For the tiny heartbeat flickering inside me. As weeks passed, I learned how to live in the middle of uncertainty. I became familiar with hospital hallways, routine checkups, and the way nurses smiled with their eyes behind masks. I kept a list of questions for every appointment because knowledge helped reduce fear. I learned to notice the small signs of growth. Slight nausea meant hormones were working. Breast tenderness reminded me that my body was changing for a reason. Every symptom became proof that my baby was still there. But mentally, the journey was still a roller coaster. One night, I sat sipping warm chamomile tea, watching a pregnancy video on YouTube. A woman explained how mood swings are normal because hormones surge like wild ocean waves. I laughed because it felt so true. One moment I was crying over a cereal commercial, and the next moment I was convinced I'd never be a good mother. Jake stayed patient. He would remind me to breathe, to rest, to eat, to love myself a little more. "You're not alone," he kept saying. And slowly I started believing it. My doctor also encouraged small daily habits. Light walks for blood flow, drinking enough water, avoiding stress triggers, sleeping on my side as pregnancy progressed. These weren't just rules. They became rituals of hope. The bleeding became less frequent, then stopped altogether. Relief washed over me, like stepping out of a storm and feeling sunlight again. At my next ultrasound, the technician smiled and turned the screen toward me. The tiny flicker was now a stronger, brighter heartbeat. My baby had grown little arms and legs. They wiggled like they were dancing for me. I cried. But this time the tears tasted like joy. The doctor said, "Many pregnancies with early bleeding go on to be completely healthy." She reminded me that early complications don't define the entire journey. For the first time, I allowed myself to dream again. We started picking names, laughing at the silly ones. I bought a soft baby blanket, just one, as a symbol of hope. I placed it where I could see it every morning, but the biggest change was inside me. I began seeing myself differently. I wasn't scared of being fragile anymore, because I realized I wasn't fragile at all. I had survived fear, doubt, and countless sleepless nights. I had protected a life while feeling like I was falling apart. That is strength. One evening, while sitting on the porch with Jake, I placed his hand on my belly. "We're already parents," I told him. "Our job isn't to make everything perfect. It's to love through the imperfect parts." Pregnancy taught me that love isn't only found in the happy moments. It's found in uncertainty, in worry, in waiting. It's found in every heartbeat that keeps going, even when fear tries to silence it. And just like that, I realized I wasn't the same woman anymore. I was stronger, braver, and incredibly grateful. Looking back, I don't remember every tear or panic-filled morning. I remember the strength I gained from facing them. I remember choosing hope, again and again, even when fear felt louder. Pregnancy doesn't always go as planned. Sometimes it's more complicated, more emotional, more frightening than we're prepared for. But that doesn't make the story any less beautiful. If you're someone going through uncertainty right now, I want you to hear this. You are not weak for being scared. You are not failing because things feel difficult. You are already doing something incredible. You are growing life and learning courage at the same time. Listen to your body. Ask questions. Rest when you need to. Cry if you must. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. Every heartbeat inside you is a reminder that hope is real. My journey wasn't perfect, but it made me stronger than I ever imagined. And if I could hold my past self in my arms, I'd tell her, "You are enough, and you are doing a great job." To every expecting mother watching this, may you find peace in the uncertainty, strength in the struggle, and joy in the smallest moments. This is your story. And it's already miraculous.